Good morning, natural gas. Today's Monday, January 12th, 2026, and this is the top news for natural gas. Number one, in the US, the weather models have turned colder later in the month. Number two, Golden Pass LNG is starting to take some small feed gas volumes. Number three, Asian LNG prices are weakening because of lack of demand. And number four, for the Dominican Republic, Manzanillo LNG terminal is taking its first startup cargo. Let's turn to the spot February natural gas contract. Currently, right now, we are trading at 326.30, up 9.4 cents, or a little bit below 3%. And as you can see, we're still below the 13 and 48 exponential period moving averages, but we've gapped up overnight and then fell back down. Why? Well, because the colder weather forecasts are late in the month, and so everybody is in the Missouri market. They want to show it in that 6 to 10 day outlook. And we've got some cold weather today. We woke up to 37 degrees here in Houston, but we're warming back up before the next cold wave comes through. The daily chart here, the RSI is trying to turn higher, so we'll look to see if this has any momentum. Let's turn to the hourly chart. And as you can see right now, we're hovering right around that daily pivot, which is at 326.5. We're right there, just one tick below. Our first resistance, 340. Our first support, 303.5. The RSI is up and turning higher, so we'll look to see if we can get 340 today if the weather model forecast continue to verify the cold at noon. So we'll continue to keep a careful eye on this. The wind was actually lower than expected here in ERCOT. That meant natural gas had to step up to the table. So let's take a look at the Asian prices, and this is part of the problem for the global markets. This is the JKM, or Japan Korea marker, minus the TTF, or European marker, and as you can see, it's now negative 11.5 cents per MMBTU, which means it's favoring Europe at this time, and that's because Asian demand has been moderate. Let's turn to the front to back spreads here in the United States. This is the Jan 27 versus the April 26 contract. That's the injection spread. And as you can see, we're down on the day. Right now, down 5 cents to 165. As the colder weather starts to come in, this front to back spread should compress, heading back down toward that 155.60, which was resistance, and now will act as support. The RSI has started to turn negative. And looking at the US, this is what's going on for the 25th. As you can see, it's quite cold. This is the wind chill factor model. And as you can see, it gets all the way down to 36 degrees here in Houston. And of course, New York City's in single digits, Chicago -3. But let's take a look at that colder weather. We were expecting around the 19th. And as you can see, it's the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, all the way over to the mid-Atlantic states and New England, and that is quite cold. As you can see here, Chicago -3, New York City 14. So right now, today though, it's okay. It's somewhat moderate. The colder air is focused really on New England, but we do have some cooler temperatures all the way down into the south. So let's turn to Europe, and this is the weather right now. It is cold in the Scandinavian, Eastern Europe as well, all the way over into France. We do see some moderation as we go through the weather forecast model. That cold air sits back in Russia and stays there. It is cold in places like Turkey and parts of Eastern Europe, but Spain, France, and even parts of Germany are doing okay as we get further and further into the model. We do see a possibility of it getting colder again toward the end of the month. Let's take a look at storage. This is the EU as a whole is below 55%. And this is as of the 10th. And as you can see here, Germany and France below 50% full. We've still got another 3 months to go. So this is going to make it pretty tight as we get colder and colder. Potentially, as we get into February, it's going to continue to draw down stocks. That means US LNG has got a bid for April through October. What about Asia? Well, we do see some colder weather going into China, northern China, parts of Korea, and maybe even in Japan, as well as the eastern provinces, starting around January the 21st and continuing all the way through, as you can see here, through the 25th, and all the way out, as far as we can see on the models, down to January 27th. So potentially that JKM will start to recover if the weather shows up. And here in the United States, as you can see, we've got some nice snow cover across our Rockies, upper Midwest into parts of New England. And you can see the Hudson Bay is completely covered over. That means that cold air can skate right across that body of water and head directly into the Great Lakes mid-Atlantic states. But it's been warming up. And as you can see, the ice cover in the Great Lakes is down to 7.1%. So because of these warm snaps, ice has been struggling to form on the Great Lakes. What about the U.S. nuclear outages? Well, we're down to 1.2 gigawatts. Back to the future, 1.21. So it's a very, very low level. The lowest we've seen in the 5-year average was 2.5 at this time of year. Again, Palisades is the nuclear power plant that is restarting for data center usage. So back to the future it is for 1.21 gigawatts. And here's the oil and gas E&P sector. These are stocks between $2 and $10 billion and have a high short float over 10%. And the oil stocks are catching a bid here this morning. Murphy, Northern Oil and Gas, and Magnolia all in the positives, but the natural gas stocks are lagging. They need to see more cold weather on the forecast before turning positive. So again, recapping here for the February natural gas spot contract, we are currently trading at 326.5, up 9.6 cents, or exactly 3%. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.